Hello, my name is DC. I'll be giving you match analysis for Pacific versus Vancouver. And before we start, I'd just like to note the big TV that's on the building. That's unique. I usually see it here, but you know what? People are doing their own thing. They're doing their own thing. All right, set piece routine. Take if you look at the box, it's one of those. Before the penalty is taken, everything looks well. But when the not penalty, when the corner is taken, everything looks. When the corner before the corner is taken, everything looks well. But when the corner is being taken, there's a tendency for all these people here, especially here. This is where this is most likely to go bad because here everything is alright. But what are they going to do? They're going to make runs into this particular area, and they're probably going to get a free header or something. Cross, you see that? There was no one in this space, and now there's just popped up someone who's unmarked, and I'm pretty sure the person that was supposed to be marking him has completely run. No, has completely left him. And the defender, easy header. It's, I don't know, it's one of those things with certain corners or set piece routines whereby before the corner is taken, everything looks well. But when it's taken, that's where people they start losing their position slash markers. Alright, so I chose this angle because it's better. Alright, so the war has done its job. It really has. The war has done its job, and then it ricochets. Boom. Now it's it's one of those where you see there's someone close to him, but in a way, again, I don't really blame him because you see, he was with him, and the ball gets ricocheted. It's one of those. I understand why he stops following because the ball gets deflected, and if you look at this, um, he is looking at the ball. He knows where the ball is going to come from. He is not looking at the ball, and then he has to turn to get to the ball. But if if it was going here, he would have definitely got that. Otherwise, I don't know. It's one of them ones. The intention was right in trying to run with him so that in case the ball comes to the back post, he's there. But unfortunately, it's ricocheted, and then he's looking that way, so he can't really see that ball. He's looking at it so he can easily adjust, and he's also turned a bit, so it's easier for him to follow that. Boom. And then yeah, he couldn't see the ball, so immediately he falls back into position, and then he hits this lovely strike. Goal. Just like that. Just like that. Boom. And then woof, goal. That's a great goal. It's a lovely, lovely volley. Yeah, and also there was a player in front of the goalkeeper, so maybe it blocked his view a bit. Alright, so this is a very, very high line. Very, very high line. Yeah, somewhere near the 18-yard line. And then the problem is you're playing a high line, but there's not much pressure because this player here has been allowed a lot of time on the ball. I know at this point it doesn't seem as if you're doing much, but trust me, it's very easy to loop a ball. It's very easy to just kick the ball very hard, loop it, have someone run on it. Not because it's something. Okay, there's certain scenarios where the ball has to be perfect and whatnot. But if you're going to play the ball into an area, especially when there's a lot of space in behind the defense, trust me, anyone can play that ball. And if you give that person time and space, it becomes very dangerous if you have a willing runner. So he has the ball, no pressure at all, and then it's easy. And then he starts fighting for the ball too early. I think he could have just run with it, run so that he gets maybe a few yards, gets his arm out there, try to shield the ball. But he started it early, so he's definitely going to. He started fighting for the ball or fighting the man earlier, and then it's a loopy ball. And then here the keeper, I don't know, because he does start stepping back. He does start stepping back, and then he eventually runs forward again. I don't know. I feel like he could have just stayed still, stay big. And then this is why if you're playing a high line again, the keeper is usually camped outside his box. so that he could deal with situations like this. But for this player, I think if he didn't focus that much on like trying to fight the player, if he just went, he could have probably gotten a head start. Because if he gets in front of his man, not much. I know the ball at that point is there to fight for, but maybe could have been in a better position. All right, so it's actually a good finish, though. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, 1-on-1 with the keeper. Now at this point, nah, because here's the thing: the keeper was running back. Then I don't know if he realizes it's too far. Then again, starts running forward, and then the worst part is that he makes himself smaller. He goes down too early. You see that? So that allows the player to play the ball. How can I do not? I don't really want to say chip, but he just manages to finish it above the keeper because the keeper just doesn't do himself any favors. He could have just stayed big to avoid that happening. Otherwise, still a good finish. But because high line, no pressure, and then he was willing to fight for that ball. He just went, I'm going to get to that ball no matter what. Alright, now this is a really funny goal. It really is because everything here is it's set up quite well. Because here you have okay, it's a good matching of players because here you have players that are trying to make a run, and then you have players that are blocking them. Same thing here, because even if the ball is played up top to this guy, it has to travel, so they definitely got it. Now this is where football can be cruel, because this ball here deflects to the person standing alone. I mean, it must hit. I mean, look at this, boom! It hits the only. It just hits him. And if it doesn't hit him, that strike was definitely it was definitely savable. Now let me show you from this other angle here, because I mean, he completely avoids the wall, and then boom. That must be painful. It must really be painful. And then again, he's turning, and I have a feeling if he took it straight on, I think the deflection wouldn't have been as harsh as it was. But okay, that's painful. Like it just hits him. It just hits him. It's wild. Anywho, poof. Yeah, deflects into the goal. I don't really want. Again, it hits the person standing alone. And then yeah, yeah. Maybe if he took it on straight on, things would have probably been better for him. All right. So he wins the ball. He does win the. Okay, here I'm not sure because there's only this. There's really only this angle. So I don't. But I think he does win it cleanly though. All right. So counter attack, and I like how quick everything. I like how quick everyone is running. All right. So you have four. Okay, you have about 4 players here. I know that it seems as if it's very far away, but he would definitely be at a point where he's able to, just block out or just be there to prevent the player taking certain options. Counter attack, right? And yeah, he's here now. Alright, so what I do like about this is that they protect the center. Because what they make sure to do is make sure that they're not going to progress through here. You either have to play it wide. Yeah, not either. You have to play it wide. You're not going to go centrally through here. That's one thing I do like that they do. And then he plays it wide. Alright, so everything up to this point is okay. But then again, they are very much outnumbered. Because if you look at this, 4 players camped around here. We have 3 here, and then there's another extra man here. And then at this point here, I don't feel it's necessary. Okay, here's the thing. If there were more players, maybe there were just 2 more, just helping, defend. I feel no. If there were 2 players helping defend, I think they could. It's I don't know. It would be more allowable for oh my goodness, I'm going to confuse myself. All right, so here's the thing: if you have a lot of players in the box, you are able to make that sacrifice whereby you don't really need someone to go and win the ball because you have enough bodies to protect the center or to deal with the header. But at this point here, if you no, it's a must you stop this ball, and he does, which it does get played behind. But now the problem is he's been dragged too wide. He's just supposed to go back and then protect, because at this point here, I do think they're in a position they can deal with crosses even though they're slightly outnumbered. And then, like, he should have just gone here, because then again, everyone here has fallen back, and the reason being is because there's a man here. He's okay. Let's just assume he is paying his attention to the man that's here. He is also paying attention to the man that is here. So it means these guys are practically out of the game, and then again, there's no cover. So if I don't really think it's necessary for him, not as in necessary as in, I think he could fall back, and then they just try to deal with the ball, because if this guy is crossing, because I know that he can take a shot, but just not necessarily that he has to go towards him. He just has to be in a position that he can deal. Okay, just make sure he doesn't shoot, but then again, he can allow him down the line, because if he allows him down the line, then he tucks in. I do feel he could be more of use here, because the defense has no cover. Because if one person just goes, it means that there's a huge gap that's going to be formed. Because boom, I don't really, yeah, like here, I wouldn't mind this player going down the line. I really wouldn't, because at this point it's a 3v3, and then he takes himself out the game. I think he could have just been here, just prevent him from shooting. He can take it down the line, but just don't allow him that chance to shoot. And because there's no cover for the defense, it is a counter attack. There's a player here at the 80, at the edge of the box. These guys have done their job by making runs, forcing the defense to move a bit deeper. But this is a lovely strike. This is a lovely strike. Oof. That's a love. Oof. And that backflip though. That backflip though. I mean, he just he should just make sure that this guy takes it wide, because he can still come and then help cover. He doesn't just he can go wide for me. Personally, for me, I can take that risk or be more aggressive. That's one thing. That's another thing. It's either you just allow him down the line or be more aggressive, because even when we saw from the other place there, that's just too much space. It's too much space. If you have committed and then you have noticed the situation behind you, it's not nice at all. Be more aggressive with that ball. Attack him from that angle there so that you block out that cutback. And if you want, yeah, you can let him, or just be more aggressive. It's either you're fully in or you're not, because here he definitely gives him way too much. It's not really marking. It's just like covering, but it's not really marking. He's covering the player by just being there to maybe force him into a certain decision, but nah. He should either be more aggressive or just let him take it down the line, and probably just assume your players will deal with it and come back to cover. But let's not take away from this strike, because it's really good. Really is. I mean, woof. Keeper just, I think he almost dives into his own post there. Yeah, I think he does. Boom. Corner. Alright, so everything once again looks good up until. Alright, so yeah. Here everything is okay. Here player in white here gets it, brings it down. No, he just gets first contact. And I do feel the other player could have done better. Not really as to get the ball, but just he just could have done something. Because if we play it back a bit, because you see, I don't know, he just stops. He just stops. And then again, okay, I understand. You've decided to protect the center. Okay, this is a terrible drawing, but as you can see, most of the players here are central. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 9 players in and around there. So it means that these guys have done. Honestly, it's the best thing that they could do. you go to where there's space, because there's such a cluster here. And then what usually happens is that if you were to take a shot, since there's so many people centrally here, it's more likely that when you receive the ball and you shoot, all these people here act as a cover, because the goalkeeper, he's gonna have to, stretch his head to be able to see any shot. Boom. And then there, that just shows grit and determination, because he just gets that extra touch. He just gets that slight touch to, play it into his teammate, and boom. That's another lovely strike, because there are a lot of lovely goals in this game. Ndi. Yeah, so that's how it is. So they committed so many players here, but they left themselves vulnerable from the flanks, especially on the other side. Here, now it's just that extra grit. I do understand why the player here does not want to. I do understand why he does not want to engage. I do understand that, but come on, because you're most likely to consider penalty. But just this grit and determination to, you know what? I'm just going to make sure this ball reaches. He makes that tackle, and then he just hits it, and it goes in. That's a lovely strike. I know it's maybe it's one of those just hit it. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. All right, so here, I think somewhere here. All right, so the defense has no cover. There's no one in front that can really. One of these two can actually go, just to go and disturb him, because this guy has way too much free time to. He has way too much free time to move with the ball and pick his head up. He has way too much time to do that, and then one of these two could go, but it's one of those. They're not really communicating with each other, because they can make this sacrifice, because there are two players marking one person. One can go and then just try and disturb him, just block out any passing angles, and then before we even go forward, notice this: number 7 is in front of number 20. He's looking back, and I don't really see. Yeah, number 7 is supposedly marking number 20. Yeah, but one of these two can definitely go forward, because you always need to have cover in front, because if any of these guys go, gap is open. But these two have the luxury here. But unfortunately, they don't use that, because you see here, the player continues moving forward. And then remember number 7 that was in front of number 20? Yeah, number 20, sorry, no, number 7 is now, he's flat-footed. I don't know if he doesn't read that, but he just doesn't continue covering number 20, because I don't think he assumes the ball will be played. But this is way too easy. He just stops marking him in short. And this is a good finish though. Boom. Lovely. The keeper assumed he was going to go the other side. And this is the funny thing, because at this point they thought they won the game. They thought they won the game. Maybe the next angle. I want to see if there's an angle that shows how number 7 just stopped marking. They just show the goal. Maybe there will be a different angle, because at this point they thought they won the game. Now this here. Alright, so in a way, okay, he does hold it up, but okay, understandable here. You prevent him from having the ball, but there should really be someone to engage him. He does play it first time though. Now here, I do feel he could clear this. I know he could clear this. He misjudges it. Because if you can see, he definitely misjudges this. He misjudges it. He just lifts his foot up too early, and then the ball bounces. He loses his balance, and then number 7 here definitely makes up for his defensive, how can I say, his defensive slip with this wonderful strike. Boom! And at this point here, oof. Okay, that's a lovely goal. Here, first contact. I do feel okay, it's one of those. If you engage him, if he immediately went forward, he immediately this ball was played, because at this point he's in the ground, so he can't really, like stop him. If he went, he probably, takes the idea out of this guy from playing it first time. He really does. And then now here, because okay, it's one of those again. He number seven is focused on him. He is focused on him. He is focused on him. So, because if he immediately engages, he would have met number seven. Would have had the chance to play to number 11, unmarked. But let's see what happens. Because at this point, it's somehow okay. Pass. Now here, he just lifts it up too early. He could have actually let this go and immediately made sure that at the point number seven receives, he is there to cut out anything. He blocks off his view and makes sure that that ball is not either played in or the shot is taken between the two. But this is a lovely strike. Yeah, so he just lets it go. Number seven, woof. And then did you see the way he put his hands in front of his head? He knows that he could have done better. And the funny thing, it hits the post, but it bounces off the keeper, which is even more painful. Yeah, see, hands on his head. He knew what he was supposed to do. Otherwise, classic match. Very interesting. 4-4. You don't see those every day. Lots of goals, lots of defensive lapses. But you know what? As a mutual, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this one because a game with many mistakes is enjoyable for the fans. A game with little mistakes is enjoyable to the coach because most mistakes come from goals, and so if you don't make that many mistakes, yeah, you can get a nice 2-0, maybe 3-0, but especially with the way football is played nowadays, won't be as exciting. It's usually lovely, whereby people are making mistakes, but you're enjoying the goals. Otherwise, it has been my match analysis. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.